Bachelor Students. In this video we will see the next basic equations used in the compressible fluid mechanics, and one of the first equations is momentum equations. The momentum equation, at the end you are going to get it as a mass flow rate into change in velocity. The momentum change or the momentum per second of the flowing fluid is nothing but mass of the fluid that is flowing per second, or the mass flow rate into velocity of the fluid. So basically mass into velocity is momentum, derived from the Newton's law. So with that basic, mathematically we can represent the momentum per second of the flow, or the momentum flow rate can be put as mass flow rate into velocity. We know that mass flow rate can be written as rho AB. Fine. So with that basic, rho AB is the mass flow rate into velocity, will give you the momentum equation which is required. We have also gone through the continuity equation where we talked about this concept of rho AB, mass flow rate. So the important thing that you have to remember here is, in the mass flow rate, the expression, the final expression for the compressive fluid is going to be same for any direction, and the mathematical format will be the net force in the direction S, which is in the arbitrary direction S, will be equivalent to the rate of change of momentum in the direction of the S. Okay, so the rate of change of momentum will be equivalent to mass flow per second into change of velocity. I can write this as rho AB into delta V, or I can put it as V2 minus V1, where V2 is the final velocity and V1 is the initial velocity in the direction of S. So basically we are actually figuring out what is the net force in some direction. That's it. Okay. The momentum equation is independent of the compressible effect. We don't have any compressible effect here. Okay, so it is the basic equation for both compressible and incompressible flow. Okay, the equation remains same. The next important equation that we are going to deal is with the velocity of sound, or the pressure wave in a fluid. See, any disturbances in any matter, whether it may be a solid, liquid or a gas, it is going to get transmitted from one point to the other point. The velocity with which the disturbance is getting transmitted depends on what kind of matter is involved in the transmission, whether it is solid, liquid or gas. Based on that, okay, the transmission happens. And the basic phenomena that is inside in the transmission is the distance between the molecules. Solid you have molecules, in liquid you have, and you have molecules in gases also. In solid, if you see, the molecules are closely packed, so the disturbance transmission is going to be continuous and easy. Instantaneously the disturbance will get transmitted. But in the case of liquid and gases, the molecules are relatively far, so the disturbances has to be traveled when the molecule has to move at some distances, right? In the case of fluids, if you see, there is some distance between the two adjacent molecules, so the molecule has to travel to a certain distance before it is transmitting the disturbance. Thus, the velocity of the disturbance in the case of fluid will be little bit less compared to the velocity of the disturbance movement in the solid. So in the fluid, the disturbance is going to move in a slower motion compared to, slowly compared to the solids. The distance between molecules is very importantly related with density, and we know in the fluids the density is always connected with the pressure also. Okay, the density is interconnected with pressure. So that is another important thing that has to be kept in mind. So when we are talking about fluid, so the first important criteria is the distance between the two molecules, which directly relate with the density. And the next important criteria is the pressure in the case of the fluids. So definitely the velocity with which the disturbance is traveling inside the fluid is dependent on these two important things, that is pressure and density of the fluid. Let us see an expression, let us derive an expression for the velocity of sound wave or the pressure wave inside the fluid. So the important thing is the disturbance is created in terms of a pressure wave, that is you are pushing a particular fluid inside a container, and the pressure wave is going to travel, okay, with the velocity of sound in all directions. This is very, very important. So the pressure wave will travel with the velocity of sound wave, and it is irrespective in all direction. It is going to be the same in all direction. But for our case, to make it more simple, we are making a one-dimensional case like this way. We are considering a piston. Show the diagram. Okay, have a piston arrangement here and a cylinder arrangement here. Cylinder and a piston, and here a fluid here. Okay, and you are pushing this piston to a small distance x. Okay, let L be the length of the what you can see cylinder. So that is the scene. Let us define the variables here. We are considering a one-dimensional propagation of the pressure wave, okay, and it is moving towards the right side from left to right. We are moving the piston from left to right, so pressure waves are getting created, or they are moving from left to right. Let the pipe or the cylinder that you have taken is filled with a compressible fluid. The piston is moved towards right, and the disturbance which is created is also going towards right. This disturbance is in the form of a pressure wave, and this pressure wave will move with the velocity of sound. So let us define the variable. A be the cross-sectional area of the pipe, V is the velocity of the piston, P is the pressure of the fluid in the pipe. Before the movement of the piston, the pressure is P. Rho is the density of the fluid before the movement of the piston. Why this is very important is, once the piston moves, okay, once the pressure waves are created, the pressure is going to change by some amount, and also the density will also change because the fluid that we are using is a compressible fluid. Okay, so there will be change in this rho and P. Dt is the very small interval, okay, in which the piston is moved. So I am moving for 1 second or 2 seconds. That small interval we call it as Dt. And capital C is the velocity of the sound wave or the pressure wave which we have created. If you see the distance traveled by the piston, coming to the basic velocity equation, distance by time. So distance will be velocity into time. So velocity of the piston, let me take it, we have put it as capital V. So V into dt is the distance traveled by the piston in a small time dt. Next we will move on to the distance traveled by the pressure wave in the time dt. It is velocity of the pressure wave, which is c into dt. So c dt is the distance traveled by the pressure wave. See, c is a very large number, okay, and c into dt is going to be more larger compared to v into dt. V is very small. This capital V is going to be very small compared to capital C. Okay, one important thing kept to be in mind. For the interval dt, the pressure wave, let us take it as traveled for a distance L, and the piston has moved to the distance x. So we have put it in the figure also. See, in that small interval time dt, the pressure wave has come from here. Okay, when you start creating the small interval, it came till here, the pressure wave. The piston has traveled from here till here, that is small x distance. Okay, so the length of the tube, which is equivalent to the fluid which is compressed, so this much will remain. So L minus x length is going to remain where the fluid is getting compressed. So due to the compression of the fluid over here, the density and pressure are going to change. So if you compress, definitely pressure will increase and density will also increase. So the new density after compression, let it be rho plus d rho, new pressure will be P plus dP. Now the length, mass of the fluid for the length L before compression will be, okay, density into volume, okay, of the fluid up to length L. So we can write it as rho A into N, okay, where we are writing this as A into N, and your L is equal to C dt. Okay, just by the mentioning over here, your L will be C dt. Okay, the distance traveled in L will be C dt. So I am substituting the value of L here, which is C dt. Mass of the fluid after compression will be density after compression into area into length. Okay. So it's basically the rho AV equation. So the mass here also it is the density equation, density into volume. Here also it is density into volume. So rho L will be not capital L here, it will be L minus X, the remaining what you can say part. Okay, so this is the total length, this is the remaining length after compression. So it is going to be L minus X. This is very important. Density is going to change, so it is rho plus d rho. So rho plus d rho A. Okay, L will be C dt, your X small x will be V dt, which is actually movement of the piston. That's very important, has to be considered. Don't get confused with L and X. L is the movement of the pressure wave, X is the movement of the piston. So let it be very clear. So after substitution, we are going to use the continuity equation where mass of the fluid before compression and after compression has to be same, conservation of mass. So using this conservation of mass, substituting, it is rho A C dt. This will be rho plus d rho A C dt minus V dt. After simple maths, okay, rearranging the terms over here, where dt is common, you are taking out dt common, you are dividing the whole equation by A into dt, and rearranging the term in terms of C d rho. Okay, this is very important. We want the equation in terms of C d rho. Finally you are going to obtain rho into V plus V into d. So after you obtain the C d rho equation from the mass conservation, you kept it as equation number 3. The velocity of the piston V is very small when it is compared with the velocity of the pressure wave, which is C. So I can neglect V into d rho, which is going to be very small because d rho is also very small. So your C d rho will be rho into V. Okay, I cannot neglect rho. Rho will have a sufficient value. That you put it as equation number 4. Now the piston is moved with a velocity V for a time dt. The fluid which is at rest initially will move with a velocity equal to the velocity of piston. Also, the pressure of the fluid will increase from P to P plus dP. So here I am going to use the momentum equation. So the net force is equal to rate of change of momentum, and rate of change of momentum can be written as mass flow rate into change of velocity. The net force is, okay, initially it is P pressure, which is changing to P plus dP. Use the pressure equation, force divided by area. So the force will be pressure into area. So P plus dP into A minus P into A. Okay, and if you solve this, so if you take A inside, so PA into PA get cancelled. So dP into A remains. So we are writing dP into A. Total mass flow rate, mass per time, change in velocity. It was 0 initially. Next it is becoming V for the piston. So V minus 0. Mass will be rho A L divided by dt. So I can write this as rho A. I can substitute L as C dt. So I am substituting over here. Dt get cancelled. So it will be rho A C into V. So rho A C V you are obtaining. Okay, and then the left hand side is dP and rho. So take the dP and A. So take A down or cancel that A. So dP will be rho CV and C will be dP divided by rho. So use the equation 4 and 5. You multiply. You are going to get C square d rho is equal to rho into V dP by rho V. V get cancelled, rho get cancelled. So dP remains. So C square will be dP by d rho. So C is going to be the velocity of sound will be square root of dP divided by d rho. This is the final equation which tells about the velocity of sound wave, which is the square root of the ratio of change in the pressure to the change in the density of the fluid due to the disturbance. So this is an important derivation for the examination point of view. Kindly go through the literature, go through the textbook, prepare well for this particular derivation. Thank you very much.